Beneath the sands of time, ancient societies whispered secrets that could change everything we thought we knew about our past. Imagine walking through the ruins of a once thriving civilization, where each stone holds a story waiting to be unearthed. What if I told you that some of these discoveries have been hidden for centuries, buried under layers of mystery? Picture this: colossal structures aligning with celestial events, artifacts that suggest advanced technology, and writings that challenge our understanding of human history. What if these clues reveal a world far more complex than we ever imagined? As we peel back the layers of history, startling truths emerge, raising questions that might leave you questioning everything you thought was set in stone. Who were the real architects of these ancient wonders? What knowledge did they possess that has been lost to time? Stay with us as we embark on a journey through forgotten realms, where every revelation pulls back the curtain on a past filled with astonishing twists and turns. Get ready to dive deep into the extraordinary tales of civilizations that once flourished in the shadows. What lies ahead will not only captivate your imagination, but may just redefine your understanding of humanity's story. When we think about ancient civilizations, our minds often conjure images of simple tools and rudimentary construction methods. However, an exploration of their technological innovations reveals a wealth of impressive accomplishments that challenge our perceptions. Take, for instance, the construction of the pyramids in Egypt. These monumental structures, built during the 4th dynasty, were not merely tombs, but feats of engineering that involved complex planning, organization, and an understanding of mathematics and astronomy. The precision with which these pyramids were aligned with the cardinal points showcases the advanced knowledge that these societies possessed. In addition to monumental architecture, ancient cultures employed sophisticated instruments for astronomical observation. The Mayans, for example, developed intricate calendars based on their observations of celestial bodies. They utilized tools like the atlatl and other advanced projectile weapons that highlight their ingenuity in both warfare and hunting. Such advancements indicate that these societies were not just surviving but thriving, with a deep understanding of their environment and how to manipulate it for their advantage. The use of metallurgy also marks a significant technological leap in ancient times. Civilizations such as the Hittites were pioneers in forging iron, which revolutionized tools and weaponry. This advancement not only enhanced their agricultural productivity, but also their military capabilities, allowing them to expand their influence across regions. The blending of copper and tin to create bronze was another major technological innovation that had far-reaching effects on trade and warfare. Moreover, the development of writing systems was a crucial technological achievement that facilitated governance, trade, and cultural exchange. The Sumerians, for instance, devised cuneiform writing, which enabled them to maintain records and communicate complex ideas. This innovation laid the groundwork for future civilizations, allowing them to build on previous knowledge and share their accomplishments. In essence, the technological advancements of ancient civilizations provide a remarkable insight into their capabilities. They were not simply primitive societies. They were innovative and resourceful, laying the foundations for many practices and technologies that we still rely on today. These innovations highlight the complexity and richness of human history, reminding us that our ancestors were far more advanced than we often give them credit for. When we dive into the world of ancient trade routes, we uncover a fascinating tapestry of cultural interactions that defy the notion of isolated civilizations. The ancient world was far more interconnected than we might realize. For instance, the Phoenicians were renowned maritime traders who established trade networks across the Mediterranean and beyond, reaching as far as the British Isles and West Africa. Their ability to navigate and establish trade links facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultural practices among diverse peoples. The Egyptians, too, were active participants in this global trade network. They exported valuable commodities like papyrus, linen, and grain, while importing luxury items such as incense, gold, and exotic animals from distant lands. This exchange not only enriched their economy, but also contributed to cultural diffusion, as ideas, religious beliefs, and artistic styles traveled along these trade routes. The Silk Road, perhaps one of the most famous trade networks, connected the East and West, allowing for the exchange of silk, spices, and precious stones. But it wasn't just goods that moved along these routes. Ideas, technologies, and religions also spread, fostering a rich tapestry of cultural interactions. The influence of Buddhism, for example, can be traced along the Silk Road as it traveled from India to China, transforming the spiritual landscape of both regions. Even ancient China engaged in trade with distant civilizations, including those in the Near East. The Han Dynasty established the Silk Road, promoting economic exchange and cultural interaction. This connection enabled the sharing of agricultural techniques, art, and philosophies, showcasing how trade could serve as a bridge between diverse cultures. In summary, the analysis of ancient trade networks reveals a world of interconnectivity that challenges the idea of isolated civilizations. The exchanges of goods and ideas not only fueled economic prosperity, but also shaped the cultural identities of these societies, proving that the ancient world was a complex web of interactions that laid the groundwork for future global connections. When discussing ancient societies, the narrative often centers around patriarchal structures, but a closer examination reveals that many ancient cultures featured matriarchal elements where women held significant power and influence. For example, in the Minoan civilization on the island of Crete, evidence suggests that women enjoyed a prominent status, participating in religious rituals and possibly even governance. The presence of female deities in their art and religious practices points to a society that revered the feminine. In various indigenous cultures, women played crucial roles in decision-making processes and were often seen as the custodians of knowledge. The Iroquois Confederacy, for instance, is known for its matrilineal structure, where lineage was traced through the female line. Women had the right to select and depose leaders, showcasing their political power and influence in a society typically dominated by men elsewhere. The status of women in ancient Egypt also stands out, where they could own property, initiate divorce, and even ascend to the throne. Figures like Hatshepsut, who ruled as pharaoh, exemplify the potential for women to rise to positions of great power within a predominantly patriarchal context. This challenges the conventional understanding of gender roles in ancient civilizations, highlighting a more nuanced view of power dynamics. Further, in some societies, gender roles were not as rigidly defined as they are in modern contexts. The concept of dual gender roles existed in cultures such as the Native American Two-Spirit people, where individuals embodying both masculine and feminine traits were often revered. This fluidity in gender roles suggests that ancient societies could have had a more complex understanding of gender than the binary views prevalent today. Ultimately, the investigation into matriarchal societies and gender practices in ancient cultures reveals a rich tapestry of social structures that defy simple categorization. These societies demonstrate that women were not merely passive participants, but active agents in shaping their cultures, challenging the dominant narratives of a universally patriarchal past. When we dive into the realm of ancient religions, we often find ourselves immersed in fascinating practices that go beyond the mainstream beliefs we typically learn about. Many ancient societies had cults and rituals that, while not widely documented, played crucial roles in the spiritual lives of their practitioners. These esoteric beliefs often revolved around nature, celestial bodies, and the afterlife, revealing a complex tapestry of spirituality that was deeply intertwined with everyday life. For instance, take the mystery cults of ancient Greece, which offered initiates secret knowledge and a direct connection to the divine. These cults, such as those dedicated to Dionysus or Demeter, often involved elaborate rituals and rites of passage that promised personal transformation. Participants believed in the power of these rituals to grant them favor in the afterlife, showcasing a profound understanding of mortality and existence that many modern religions still grapple with. Similarly, the ancient Egyptians practiced a rich tapestry of esoteric beliefs centered around the afterlife. Their intricate burial rituals, coupled with the belief in a judgment by Osiris, highlight a society that placed immense value on spiritual purity and moral conduct. The use of amulets, spells, and the famous Book of the Dead illustrates their quest for protection and guidance in the afterlife, indicating that their spiritual world was just as complex as their physical one. In other corners of the ancient world, the indigenous tribes of the Americas engaged in shamanistic practices, believing in a world filled with spirits and ancestors. Shamans served as mediators between the physical and spiritual realms, using rituals, music, and herbs to connect with these forces. Their deep respect for nature and its elements reveals a unique understanding of the universe that challenges our conventional views on spirituality. Exploring these lesser-known religious practices provides a glimpse into the diverse ways that ancient peoples sought to understand their place in the cosmos. From fertility cults to ancestor worship, the esoteric beliefs of ancient civilizations reveal a profound complexity that often goes overlooked in favor of more dominant historical narratives. The world of archaeology is filled with tantalizing mysteries that still baffle experts today. Throughout history, archaeologists have uncovered artifacts that challenge our understanding of ancient technologies and societies. These objects often suggest that past civilizations possessed knowledge and skills that have since been lost to time. Just look at the Antikythera mechanism, an ancient Greek analog computer that was used to predict astronomical positions. Its complexity raises questions about the level of technological sophistication achieved by ancient cultures. Another notable example is the Nazca lines in Peru, massive geoglyphs etched into the desert floor. While their purpose remains uncertain, theories range from astronomical calendars to religious symbols. The sheer scale and precision of these lines suggest a level of planning and communal effort that might indicate an advanced societal framework. Yet their true significance eludes us, leaving a gap in our understanding of ancient practices. Then there are the countless stone tools and artifacts found in various archaeological sites, some of which exhibit craftsmanship that seems to defy the timeline of human development. For instance, the discovery of unusually shaped stone tools in prehistorical contexts has led some to speculate about the existence of advanced prehistoric societies, or even interactions with now extinct hominids. These findings compel us to reconsider the linear narrative of human innovation and societal progression. Moreover, the discovery of ancient batteries, like the so-called Baghdad battery, hints at the possibility that ancient civilizations may have had access to electrical technologies. The implications of such findings are profound, suggesting that our ancestors may have had knowledge that we are only beginning to rediscover. What other secrets lie buried in the sands of time, waiting for a curious mind to unearth them? The allure of these archaeological mysteries lies not just in their enigmatic nature, but also in the questions they raise about human history. They challenge us to think critically about what we know and what we think we know about our ancestors. As we continue to explore these artifacts, we inch closer to unveiling the truths of ancient civilizations and their remarkable capabilities. When we think of ancient civilizations, grand monuments and sophisticated cultures often come to mind. However, these societies were not just passive recipients of their environments. They actively shaped and were shaped by them. The interactions between humans and their surroundings could determine the very fate of these civilizations. Take the Maya, for instance. Their advanced agricultural techniques allowed them to thrive in the dense jungles of Mesoamerica, but over time, deforestation and soil degradation led to a decline that contributed to their eventual collapse. This story isn't unique, it's a recurring theme in the annals of history. Another example is the ancient Mesopotamians who harnessed the power of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers for irrigation. Their agricultural success led to urbanization, which in turn created a complex society with advancements in writing, mathematics, and law. Yet, as they expanded their agricultural practices, they faced salinization of the soil. Over time, this not only diminished crop yields, but also strained their water resources, leading to food shortages and social unrest. the environmental consequences of their practices ultimately played a critical role in their decline. Similarly, the Roman Empire, often celebrated for its engineering and military prowess, faced severe environmental challenges that contributed to its downfall. The extensive deforestation for timber and agriculture led to soil erosion and decreased agricultural productivity. This environmental degradation was compounded by climate change, which brought about harsher winters and diminished summer yields. As food became scarce, the empire struggled to support its vast population, leading to political instability and ultimately its collapse. The ancestral Puebloans of the American Southwest also provide a compelling case study. Known for their impressive cliff dwellings and complex societal structures, they thrived in a harsh desert environment. However, prolonged drought conditions, coupled with unsustainable agricultural practices, forced them to abandon their settlements. This illustrates that even the most sophisticated societies are not immune to the forces of nature, and sometimes, despite their best efforts, they can be overwhelmed by environmental changes. Lastly, the collapse of the Harappan civilization in the Indus Valley showcases how environmental factors can lead to a gradual decline rather than a sudden fall. Evidence suggests that shifting river patterns and climate changes significantly impacted their agricultural output. As trade routes became less accessible and resources dwindled, the once thriving cities began to decline, leading to a slow but certain disintegration of a complex urban society. The interplay between environmental conditions and human activity is a crucial aspect of understanding the rise and fall of civilizations throughout history. As we wrap up our journey through the astonishing secrets of ancient societies, it's clear that history is far more intricate than we often realize. Just think about it. What if everything we believed about the past could be turned on its head? Those monumental discoveries aren't just relics. They're keys to understanding our own humanity. Imagine standing at the edge of a lost civilization, feeling the weight of their triumphs and struggles echoing through time. What stories could those ancient stones tell us? And what if we could unlock even more mysteries hidden beneath the sands of time? Now, let's keep the conversation going. Which discovery surprised you the most? Is there an ancient society you're itching to learn more about? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights could spark the next deep dive into history's enigmas. And remember, every time we uncover a new truth, we gain a clearer perspective of where we come from. So, stay curious and keep questioning the world around you. After all, the past is a treasure chest just waiting to be opened. Who knows what we'll discover next? Stick around, the adventure is just beginning.